Hey guys, it's Austin with Pickleball Playbook, and today I'm going to be taking you through the uncut version of how I set up my paddle. So the paddle that I use is obviously the Selkirk Lux. Doesn't matter the paddle that you can use this same exact setup, and it will help to improve your overall sweet spot, make it feel bigger, and then also it'll improve your hand speed. I also might give you guys some tips on how you can improve your power or spin or overall stability of your paddle based off of where you place your tungsten tape or your lead tape. So without further ado, let's hop into it. What you'll need for this isn't really a need, but it's gonna save you like 10 minutes, is hand sanitizer, spray on. This is the Honest brand. And then this is a need. You need an overgrip. Doesn't matter the brand. Selkirk has awesome overgrips. I'm actually using a Genesis overgrip. I still have these from my tennis years, from one of my tennis sponsorships. And I just have loads of them. So those are what I use. But they're probably going to be more expensive than just getting a pickleball. These are actually specifically for tennis. And then Hesicor undergrip is what I use. And then tungsten tape. You can also use lead tape, like I mentioned before. So let's hop into it. First thing that I'm going to do, lightly spray around my paddle. And then this is the most important part. You want to spray inside your Hesicor grip on the butt. So the butt side of it, not the top. You spray the top, it's going to be too slick to pull your hands around it. Trust me, I know from experience. So now we're all wet. It's not soaking wet, but it's wet enough. And then you're going to put both your fingers in like this, and slip around the paddle. And it'll just slip on like, not exactly like butter, but let me tell you how much easier it is to get this on than doing it the way that they say to do it. So I would strongly suggest invest in some dollar store hand sanitizer or whatever it is. Doesn't need to be expensive hand sanitizer. Okay, and then I'm just lining that up. I want to make sure that the logo is on the flat part of the face. You can twist it around. Doesn't matter if you put it on crooked in the first place, because you can always fix it after. After that, take my overgrip, and your hands are going to be maybe a little bit slick from the hand sanitizer. So you guys could wash them off if you wanted to. For the sake of the video, I'm not going to. I will spare you guys that. So then I'm taking plastic off of this. And then I actually, even though this is a tennis overgrip, I use the entire thing on my paddle because I like a thicker handle. So I wouldn't suggest using an entire tennis overgrip if you don't like a thicker handle. Also, these Hesicor grips come in thinner sizes. The pink is actually the thinnest. So if you're looking for something thin, I use the Tour grip. I like it a little bit thicker. This is actually a Tour Small. I've used Tour Small and Medium. Couldn't really tell a difference between the two, but Small is supposed to be a little bit thinner, which it is, but it's not noticeably thinner to me at least. So then I'm just wrapping this around. And then I'm going about halfway around the paddle, meaning I split this in half and I'm going halfway. Hopefully that makes sense as I wrap around. If that doesn't make sense, shoot me a DM, let me know. And then that should make it, if you go halfway all the way down with a tennis grip, that should make it so that you finish off just about perfect. At the end, has this little piece of tape that I take off. First time that you overgrip a paddle, I'm sure many of you already have, obviously, but the very first time that you do it, it's going to take you like literally 50 times to finally get it right, and then you'll have it down after that. So you just got to grin and bear through the 50 times, and then you'll be 100% set. So then I'm just taking this electrical tape, wrapping it around the top, and the grip is on. I just love using this grip. For those of you that don't know, actually Hesicor started like a month after I started my page, and I reached out to them because I saw the grip and I was like, I want to try that. It looks like a total gimmick, and tried it, absolutely love it. It's legit in the fact that your hand just doesn't slip out of position as you're holding onto the paddle. which I have a hard time with, because as soon as your overgrip starts to get a little bit sweaty, you'll start slipping, and then you slip out of your grip as you're trying to counter shots. And in pickleball, you need to be able to counter extremely fast. And this definitely helps a ton. So love the Hescore overgrip, so shout out to them. Next, we're going to take our tungsten tape, and this is going to help us with the overall control that we have, and it will expand our sweet spot. So it'll make our sweet spot feel like it's bigger, and it'll also make it so that our paddle isn't twisting side to side as much as we're in a hand paddle, which is referred to as twist weight. So it lowers the overall twist weight when we use lead tape or tungsten tape, some type of weight on our paddle. It counters that twist weight so that it's not as shaky and it's more stable. The lower down your paddle that you go, the more control that you're going to have, and it's going to expand your sweet spot in that position. It's also going to improve your hand speed, because the closer that you put the weight to the handle, the faster your hands are going to be. The further away you go, the slower your hands, but the more power and pop that your paddle is going to have. So I like to put this on the throat, because for me, I like to have more control. Obviously, I'm using the Lux Control Air, and I also like to have quicker hands. And I'd rather sacrifice a little bit of power because I feel like I can produce it myself. If you're needing more power, put it up top. People put it on the sides. That's really, the sides are going to be the optimal spot for giving you stability. And actually, Pickleball Effect, they did a review on lead tape, I guess you could say, and the best place to put it to make the biggest change on your paddle. And it was actually right around this spot on this flat edge, which I do put mine there, but mine comes all the way down to the throat because I want hand speed. So if you don't care about hand speed as much and you want the biggest effect on your sweet spot, you want to put it around here. Hopefully you guys can see that from the camera. Anyways, I'm going to split this off, and I like to take 2 strips at the same time, just like that. And I'll put it all the way on the bottom edge of my electrical tape, on the top edge of my electrical tape. I'll show you guys this as soon as I'm done. I want to make sure that I get it straight because I want the weight evenly distributed. Not the biggest deal if it's slightly off, but you definitely want to get it as close as possible. What's cool about this tungsten tape is that it looks cool. At least I think so. It looks cool on the paddle because you have to get rid of this lettering, which already looks cool, but then it still has the logo. It still looks nice, which is awesome. Whereas with lead tape, you're just going to get a glow, and you have to cover it, especially out in the sun. Otherwise, it just keeps shining you in the eyes. I actually don't know if that's illegal. I'd be interested to find out, though, if that's illegal to do in tournaments, not cover up your lead tape. All the more reason, if it is, all the more reason to use tungsten. Lead tape is actually very toxic for your hands. I've used it so much in the past, though, so I don't know if my hands are super dirty from doing that. I don't even know how it works. I know it's toxic. It gets inside. You don't really want those toxins on you. Okay, so I put it right there on the sides, starting at the bottom, and it goes up to about there. I would say, for those of you that aren't using the Selkirk tungsten tape, just so you know, it goes right to that Selkirk sign on this side of the Lux paddle. It's a little bit further than halfway up the paddle face, too. So it's about right there, just so you guys can see. And that's exactly how I set up my paddle. I'll sometimes put some lead up here to shore up mishits, because when I mishit, I'll typically mishit up top. But with this particular paddle, from what I've found and what I've tested out, I really just like having the lead right here and keeping it that simple. Improves my hand speed overall. And then it also helps shore up any mishits down here, and it increases my overall sweet spot. So again, if you're looking to increase your spin or pace, put your lead tape up here. If you want more stability, less rocking back and forth, bigger sweet spot, go right here. If you want quicker hand speed and a bigger sweet spot and control, go around here. Now, all this being said, I'm not an expert. but I have tried different lead tape placements, and this is what feels best to me. So you guys have to try it for yourselves and just kind of move your lead or tungsten tape around and see what feels best. But again, I'd strongly suggest putting lead tape on your paddle. It will greatly improve your overall accuracy in how you're hitting the ball, making contact with it, as well as your hand speed, depending on where you place it. So I hope that that was helpful for you guys to see the uncut version, kind of how I go through it. I don't know how long this video is. I'd imagine it's around 10 to 12, 15 minutes or around there. If I wasn't talking, I probably could have got through this in about 5 to 8 minutes. I feel like, so it doesn't take that long, so long as you have the stuff with you ready to go. But this will greatly improve your game, and I hope that that was helpful, and I'll see you guys later.